A Nefarious Nightmare contains themes that may be explicit or triggering for some. Specific warnings and disclaimers will be mentioned in the show notes. A Nefarious Nightmare assumes all parties that are mentioned in these cases to be innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. Listener discretion is strongly advised. You can help us grow the show by leaving us a 5-star written review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Or you can join our Patreon for lighthearted bonus content.
Hey guys, Courtney here. Since we're on a hiatus until season 6, I wanted to give you all something to listen to in the meantime. Amanda and I are taking a much-needed week or two off because, admittedly, season 5 and the entire Still Minding the Beehive series has pretty much worn us out. I mean, it's taken a lot of energy from me. I'm not going to even lie to you. And I do feel like prioritizing our mental health is key. In fact, everybody should prioritize their mental health. Seriously. We do have updates and a few bonus episodes planned before season 6, so stay tuned for that. But for now, please enjoy this bonus drop from our Patreon archives. If you're familiar with our Patreon exclusive podcast, Not So Nefarious Criminals, then lucky you because it's been on a bit of a hiatus itself. Fear not, because we do plan on making a huge return. If you aren't familiar, let me just tell you, Not So Nefarious Criminals is just a fun, pretty lazy palate cleanser podcast that we do include because, as I mentioned earlier, we like to prioritize mental health. We don't like the idea of laughing or relaxing and whatnot in the cases that we cover on the public feed because it feels gross. But when it comes to petty crimes or victimless crimes and dumb criminals, sometimes the situations surrounding that are hard to not laugh about it. So in this episode, we're joined by Bob Motta of Diaries. This was one of those episodes that I didn't really go back and listen to much up until fairly recently, and it was such a good episode that I felt like it just needed to be on the public platform. I must warn you though, when we recorded this episode, it was right around the time where my mom had just passed away, and I was trying my best not to be, sad and bringing down the house, but I felt like I masked pretty good, I guess. I was just trying to keep it light, but I wasn't in my element at all, but fortunately it didn't seem to take away from the episode. We all had a great time and we laughed, and I even felt like my mom was right there with us laughing or, silently getting on to me for the continuous use of the F-bomb. Sorry, Mom. But we had fun, and that's what is most important. So check this episode out. Enjoy it. If you want more, you are welcome to join our Patreon. And please be sure to keep listening for more content coming your way soon. Enjoy. And remember, be vigilant, for when you mess with the bees, you get the hive.
We talk about it.
Crimes, man.
True crime.
Crimes.
Petty crime.
That take on the essence of
Florida.
Not so nefarious criminals.
That was kind of a bit much right there, but
That's just messed up.
you messed up.
Let's see what we got cooking.
Good.
Man, y'all be paying for this shit.
Hi.
Yeah.
Every week I say your name, I sound like a Valley girl, and I don't know where that comes from.
It's because you're a Valley girl. How are you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal.
Oh, good.
How are you, my love?
I've got the National Day calendar going. Are you ready for the National Day today?
It's my favorite part of the week. You know this.
Yeah, like I said, this is always the whole reason why we do Not So Nefarious Criminals is for the National Day. Has nothing to do with Florida, man.
Nope.
Nothing to do. Well, today is National Leadership Day. All of these are kind of dumb. National Comfy Day.
Ooh, I like that one.
National Muffin Day. Real quick, do you remember that dude that did the shoes? Like, he was like, let's get some shoes.
Oh,
that guy. Yeah, he also did muffins. Remember those? He's talking about muffins. Like, he would be like, blueberry, chocolate chip. And then he'd be like, blood. You remember that?
It sounds familiar.
That shit will forever haunt my nose. And then there's National Love Your Pet Day.
Oh, I love all 7 of mine.
Yeah, you have an infestation for sure.
Hey, you know what?
National Cherry Pie Day. And then are you ready for the biggest one? Arguably? President's Day.
God. Oh, that's why my kids didn't go to school today.
Oh, you forgot, right? So yeah, those are the national days, and it shows I guess Mount Rushmore, and that's all I got for you, bro.
Did you know that Mount Rushmore it turned out differently than it was supposed to be?
Yep, there was only supposed to be 3 heads, but now it's 4, and that's what she said.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what else she said?
What?
We're being fucking rude.
We are. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, she's sitting right here behind me.
Hi. Hello.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Oh, is it Bob Motta?
Oh, fuck. Hey, what the fuck, man? Oh, I'm sorry I dozed off because I was so fucking bored from what I was hearing.
Yeah,
am I on?
national days are pretty interesting.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on this week's installment of Defense Diary. I mean, no.
Yeah.
No, welcome.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Hey, welcome to Not So Nefarious Criminals. We are so grateful that you were able to make some time and hang out with us tonight.
Definitely.
Can you tell all 2 people? We have 2 people now, I think.
Well, you're growing, That's it went from 1 to 2. They call that exponential,
Actually, we went from negative 60 to
Oh, you're that rare pod that had negative listeners? Yeah. It's like a unicorn pod.
We are actually, bankrupt now.
Yeah. You and us both. So, it's quite the battle. It's quite the battle. So,
please tell everybody about you, about your podcast. I was telling my friend here real quick. She and I have known each other since, junior high school, and I was telling her about you and how you have Defense Diaries and about your dad. So why don't you just tell everybody else that's listening a little bit about you?
Hey, friend. Nice to meet you back there.
She can't
Courtney
hear
was so rude that she didn't introduce you.
My name hidden.
I'm kidding. So my name is Bob Motta, and I am the host of a little podcast called Defense Diaries. They kind of all started. I'm actually a recovering criminal defense attorney of about 20 plus years. I was a trial lawyer. And one day I woke up and said, man, I got to get the fuck out of doing this because it's killing my soul. So I decided that I was going to do a podcast, and kind of what gave me the idea to do that is a long time ago, my dad had given me all of his taped interviews with his then client, John Wayne Gacy, as he was one of Gacy's 2 trial lawyers back in 1978 through 80. The tapes are insane, as you can imagine, but they're unusual in the sense that most times that we hear or see from serial killers, it's when they're giving interviews when they're on death row. And, it's just kind of self-serving bullshit where they're talking about how they didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. This is different. This is my dad preparing Gacy for trial, and I sat on him for a really, really long time, and I didn't know what to do with him. I had actually pitched Joe Berlinger, who dropped that thing this March called, it was under his Conversations with a Killer umbrella, because he had done the Bundy thing. I had seen the Bundy thing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to drop this dude a line. Just let him know I've got some tapes. I did. I found his email on the internet, and I hit him up thinking, somebody on his staff or something would hit me back up, because Berlinger's done, I had a lot of respect for him then, because he had done the Paradise Lost stuff, and I thought those were great. And, at the beginning, and he's done some pretty powerful work. And then, oddly enough, he hit me back up within 5 minutes. So the next 9 months, I'm proceeding to try to negotiate something with him where he would license the tapes. I couldn't work the deal out, which was a massive blessing, actually, because I'm doing what I think I was born to do, which is this. And, from there, I was also fortunate, COVID was bad in many, many, many ways. For me personally, it was good in the sense that My friend and my executive producer, Darren Wood, who was a music industry guy from down in New Orleans, was starving to death because the entire industry was shut down during COVID. So I hit him up. I'm like, yo, man, I'm going to do this pod because on the tech side, I didn't know how to do any of it. I knew how to write, I knew how to speak, and I knew how to do research, and I needed him to be able to do all my back end, make it sound great, give me the music, do all, just do all that stuff that's so important in terms of editing, so you have a high quality pod. So he was not hard to convince. He's like, get me a ticket. I flew him up. And the rest, as they say, is history in terms of the pod starting. And, we did, our first season was in fact the Gacy thing. And, I didn't want to go into that Gacy season with like talking about Gacy. It sounds weird in the sense that I had the tapes, but, it's like there's enough shit out there about that guy, So what I decided I wanted to focus on was the victims, which in 43 years I knew little to nothing about the victims. So they were our primary focus. I also wanted to focus on the investigation into them, the arrest, and ultimately the trial, because obviously my dad tried the case, and we put together I don't like to sound like a bragger, but it's the baddest fucking thing that's ever been done on Gacy. I'll put it up against anything. I don't give a shit what medium it is. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's epic. It's 36 episodes. I end it with my father performing his opening statement that he gave at trial. And then I end it in the last episode. Darren and I went and Bill Kunkel, who was the lead prosecutor, who was the man who put Gacy down once and for all, was kind enough to read his entire closing argument. Was like fucking like bone chilling, and like my hair on my arms are standing up on end. So I mean, it's like what we put together. We're really, really proud of it, and we, and it's long. It's 36 episodes. We're not fucking around. It's a really, it's an investment in your time, but it's as deep of a dive as you can get. I think there's probably only one cat out there that's challenging me in terms of deep dives. That's probably Josh Hallmark with true crime bullshit. He's a boy of mine, so he's my close friend. So and I love his pod, but we really, really dove deep into that case. And then the second season is a case that I actually tried in Omaha, Nebraska with my father. It was the only case I ever tried with him. And my wife, Allison, also tried the case with, at least she started trying the case with us. It was a crazy case. And it was the case of Dr. Anthony Garcia, who had been accused of murdering 4 people over 5 years, including a sweet little 11-year-old boy and a housekeeper. And then 5 years later came back and killed a husband and wife. The connection was the Creighton pathology department, or at least that's what the state's theory was. And it was a 3-year battle to the death. And, that story's different because it's coming from my perspective about what it's like to defend a case like that. And again, it's a super deep dive. It's actually going to be longer than Gacy. I think I just sent 34 over to Darren a couple of days ago. So we're waiting for that thing to drop. But that thing, Garcia hasn't even been arrested. So if real short pods are your thing, short seasons, I'm probably not your guy. Even though we do now have something called the docket, which is kind of our little side pod. And that's what we're handling. Because it was driving me nuts. All the shit that's going on, current event wise and breaking story. It's like a constant flow of never ending true crime content. And, and it was driving me nuts that I'm talking about these old cases, and I really wanted to be able to kind of cover some more timely stuff. So that's what we do with the docket, anything that's kind of popping and new, and I give my defense attorney slant on it. And that's one thing that, kind of going into the pod, I wasn't sure how I wanted to handle. My wife, Allison's like, you really need to lean into the fact that you're a defense attorney. I'm like, man, I don't know if people want to hear that shit, And then as soon as I started doing it, I realized that's exactly what I need to do, because that's been the voice that's missing in true crime for a long time. I think I've been able to change a lot of people's minds about their perceptions of defense attorneys. We're not bottom feeder scumbags. We're actually incredibly important to the process. And, without competent defense attorneys, we're living in an entirely different world, and cases are getting retried again because you've got idiots on the other side, and like they're going to get overturned on appeal. So you want competent lawyers on both sides. And really what I try to express to people is what defense attorneys do is we police the police. We are in the battle with the government. That's who we're fighting. The police are the government. The state's attorney is the government. So, that's we are in there protecting our rights as citizens. And whether you're a criminal or not, it affects all of us. So, I've tried to really kind of, without being on my soapbox too much, just try to impart that upon my listeners. And I think I've been pretty effective with being able to, kind of get them to understand that, we play a very important role in the system. And it's nice to have that voice out there, because all the true crime content that we've heard over the last forever, it's always come from cops. Like if you're watching Discovery ID, whatever you watch, when you watch your shit, it's always cops and it's always the prosecutors. Occasionally they'll throw a defense attorney in there, but it's not the norm, So, but I feel that that's changing. I can feel the tide. There's a lot of people out there doing good work, like great work with wrongful convictions and things of that nature. So I'm excited about it. And now I am finally done.
No, that was good. I got into your podcast and I remember telling you this at the True Crime Podcast Festival. I've listened, frankly, to a lot of episodes about John Wayne Gacy and just got bored. Yeah, because it's just like I already know, what happens. Right. But yours was compelling because you pulled out like extra information that people don't know that's pertinent. And it was just, I appreciated it because it's just like, this actually tells me a lot more. It kind of helps me, as much as I don't want to empathize, it helps me empathize, with the offender, right? So it kind of told me that everybody has a particular side to this story. So yeah you're right. You're basically pushing the narrative that, the defense side has something to say also, and it's important. So and the thing with the Gacy thing is that we just uncovered how they really got him. Like it fucking blew my mind, because we were producing that on the run, and it's not theory. Like we uncovered, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but if you get to episodes 6 through 10, as we were going through and as I was researching the case, interviewing the old cops that were still alive, we uncovered the fact that they planted the piece of evidence that got Gacy, and it was like, it blew my mind, So it's like, because I hit Berlinger up, who I found out was making that shit, and I'm like, yo, man, you got to change the narrative of your shit. We just this isn't a theory. I had 3 of the cops admit to me that the evidence was planted, which is huge. It's like one of the biggest cases in history, and how they got him was by planting that photo receipt. When I say plant, it wasn't like they put like a bag of Coke in somebody's pocket. They injected the receipt into evidence as if they had found it inside of his house, and that created the link between Rob Peast being in Gacy's house, which allowed them to get into his house a second time because they didn't find shit the first time, and that's when they found the bodies. Now, had that been discovered, it would have been a fucking nightmare. It would have been everything would have because a lot of times on those motions to suppress, what they'll do, the appellate court will figure a way around it. When it's police misconduct that is the result of it, they're having to suppress everything. All the bodies would have been they would have had no bodies to go to trial with, including the ones in the river, because his confessions would have been tossed out. It's all fruit of the poisonous tree. So we didn't know how to treat it. We're morality play, people are going to be well, the guy was a fucking giant piece of shit and he deserved exactly what he got. So do we care that they planted evidence? And the answer is, of course we care. You can't start planting evidence. I don't give a shit who they are. And besides that, they had no idea he was a serial killer when they planted the evidence. They were going for one dude. They got kind of lucky, but everybody deserves the right to a fair trial. And we can't have the police planning shit. We can't say, it was okay in that sense because he was a fucking monster. Well, that becomes a very slippery slope. Where is it not? You can't have police ever planting evidence because it's a nightmare. Having one person in prison for planted evidence is a nightmare. Imagine if it was a family member or you, what that would feel like. We can't do it. So whatever, I'm done with that. But if even if serial killers are not your thing, it's a pretty interesting pod. Check it out. It definitely is. Real quick, before we move on, I would love if he ever covered Tony Costa.
I don't never even heard of him.
Well, he's the one serial killer that I don't like him. I'm just really intrigued because he had murdered 4 women and then essentially probably actually murdered 8. And he kind of flew under the radar a little bit because he just looked and acted normal.
Right. But what time frame is it? Like what?
The 70s. 70s. Yeah, he basically ended up, committing suicide in jail.
Wow.
But yeah, he was caught.
Tell me a little intel. I'll dig into him. I had never heard of Dean Corll until I started doing the Gacy pod, who was basically Gacy down in Texas. Like he had killed, I think he killed like 27 or 28 boys, same shit.
Yep.
And 2 accomplices like Gacy did, which like no one knows about. I mean, people talk about Cram and Rossi, but I mean, the guy definitely, they lived with him. Like during his most active period of killing, there's no way they didn't know. They admitted to digging Trent and whatever. Yeah, it's like, don't get me started. I'll get like, no,
I'm just like, I've been telling people since we started this podcast, I'm like, man, I really wish I could like hear an interview between like Tony Costa and somebody, because that one was that particular case, I can't explain why, really got to me. It would just be like interesting to hear a perspective on Tony Costa like you did with the Gacy tapes. So that I'm just like, I've been like begging everybody, I'm like, please cover. But the other question I have, and you can probably write it off as a joke, but did OJ do it? Did he did it? Did he do it?
Funny. It's so funny that you brought that up. I was literally just talking about that last night with Allison. It's so weird you brought that up. I mean, first and foremost, the state didn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did it, so it was the right verdict, even though we know at this point, because I've seen jurors interviewing, that was the verdict was a payback for none of the cops getting found guilty in terms of the Rodney King beating. So like they literally, the one juror's like, look, that was payback, how do y'all like that shit? When like we let one of our own off on a not guilty when y'all think that he's guilty or know that he's guilty. So aside from that, man, I don't know. I always thought that he did, but then I saw this documentary about this fucking creep, dude that was a landscaper, around that area that was actually a serial killer and had actually been hired by, I can't remember the name of the documentary, but it blew my mind. And the guy's brother is I'm pretty sure my brother killed Nicole and Ron Goldman.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go look into that.
Dude, look for it. Just do serial killer OJ, and it'll pop up. And it's super compelling. It really is.
I've seen a little bit of that, and it was. I need to finish it because it was. Yeah,
it's a pretty solid case, because I just can't figure out why the fuck OJ would do it. It's they weren't married anymore. He doesn't give a fuck. He was one of the greatest running backs of all time. The guy had everything, fame, fortune. He could, get any woman that he wanted. I can't see a circumstance where he's just walking by there or planning to go over and kill Nicole and her boyfriend, man. The motive for me just was never a thing. It got so fucked up because Ito could not control that trial at all. Yeah. And Johnny was brilliant bringing in the fucking race card and all that shit. And it was like that. I'm older than y'all, so I watched that thing daytime television.
I did too. But
God. It was insane.
I was 12 when all that happened.
Yeah, I was just in college, so it was I watched that shit every day, every second. I'm watching the Murdaugh shit, So it's that the Murdaugh trial. Have you guys watched any of that?
I haven't. Honestly, I watched a little bit of it, and then lately I haven't had a chance.
Insane. It is that trial has been insane, and I'm doing talking head shit for Law and Crime Network, so I'm on there 3-4 times a week, so they'll come to me for analysis in between breaks. So I've been forced to watch it for that, but I
did see one of those. So
it is an insane case, and it's not just that case, it's the whole story surrounding it is just wild, so Alice and I have huge arguments about whether or not he did it. She's I'm like, I'm a defense attorney, but Allison's a defense attorney. Like, I'm like, yo, man. I'm like, is anyone ever guilty? Is it like? I'm like, look, we know a crime was committed, which means that somebody had to have committed the crime.
Right.
Do you ever think that anybody's ever guilty? She's like,
No.
She's like, they might get convicted, but I don't know if they're guilty. You know,
Right.
I don't know. She's a hard nut to crack, man. Like she's but
Oh no! I mean, he
she's a pit bull.
Googled
Yeah, she's
everything.
She's a pit bull.
Well, Florida man. No, do you guys have your stories
I do.
also?
I do.
Nice. Well, mine, I guess apparently I'm going first, even though according to Amanda, I always go first.
I'm going easy on you this week. I'm coming for
Sure.
you next. You get 1 week of easiness.
Bitch. Okay, so this one comes from Mashable.com, and there is an ad for T-Mobile, which might be a sign that I need to leave AT&T, and that's fine, because they're offering a free Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus. Just so you'll know, no trade-in required.
I already have that phone.
Did you get paid for that? Okay.
No.
I just ordered one based on that little host read you did right there.
Oh, thank you. I did a good job. Somebody sponsor me.
Bingo.
So, guy leaves his job at Burger King, steals all the chicken nuggets. And this one was written by a Kelly Diamond on my birthday in 2016. So that was January 25th. And I was, I don't remember how old I was because I'm old.
44, I think.
44.
I'm 40.
You guys are young.
Where the hell did you get 44 from?
I just wanted to see your face go, huh?
My face is already like that right now. Anyway, so this is a story of a former Burger King employee earning his new title as Chicken King. Oh my god. I just imagined Tiger King for some reason running out of a Burger King with a full bucket of nuggets. So a tweet posted by a guy named Zealot is currently going viral as people everywhere are impressed with his ability to steal what is likely just $5 of chicken nuggets.
From what restaurant? Burger King?
Burger
King.
King.
The worst nuggets in the game, too.
I know. I was talking to somebody about how we all think that it's more like raccoon foot. So
that sounds right. That checks
I
out.
haven't been to a Burger King in probably 20 years.
Same. I
haven't
literally
had
have
one in
not
a
been to a
long-
Burger King. It's whatever that fake ass flame grilled flavoring shit they put on there. I'm like, yo, you're not flame grilling shit. Quit putting that fake ass flavoring on
arguably,
there.
I'm surprised they're still in business.
I mean, they can't even.
Because I don't know anybody.
Remember the fry battle? Remember when they decided to try to take on McDonald's with their fries and they changed the recipe and it was a big deal and then it was a big flop? Because McDonald's, whatever you want to say
can't
about
beat
them,
McDonald's fries.
No.
their fries, their fires. When they're coming straight out of the grease trap, shit,
Extra
man,
salt.
That salt on there, they're lit. Just the crispy goodness.
I love that we're talking about this because we talk about food every episode.
I mean, food is amazing. You should talk about food.
Food is life.
Food is life, definitely.
Until you kill it and eat it. Today was my last day. These are some tweets that he wrote. Today was my last day working at Burger King, so I took all of their nuggets. Fuck it. So everyone wants in on that massive amount of nuggets. Fighting big fast food, one hero at a time.
Yeah, my guy.
Hook me up, please. The Chicken King is officially an inspiration to people everywhere. Bro, I don't fucking know you, but you are my fucking hero. I appreciate MIA. Okay? I gotta steal me some nuggets so I can get a hot ass girl in this thread, and I don't know. So he's truly an idol to the masses as the newfound hero for fast food lovers everywhere. Zealot was just one inspiring thing to say. Just be yo fucking self. Why the fuck do you have to worry what other people think of you or what other people do? Just fucking be you.
I mean,
Okay.
The dude crushed it. You know, the only problem with the plan is when he decided to go to social media, he basically admitted to committing the crime. Therein lies the rub. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you know, that you're stuck with that choice. You know, I've done this thing and I'm pretty sure it'll go fucking viral on the socials, but it'll probably get me arrested. So what am I going to do? Do I say fuck it? Do I just fuck it and I post it and I get arrested and it's worth it?
I say fuck it and hire your wife.
Boom. There you go.
I think, and he was just being his fucking self.
Exactly. I mean, he is kind of a Robin Hood, Robin Hood of Nuggets.
He was willing to share.
So they said, we're just happy the Nuggets buckled up for the ride home and hope their concern for safety rubs up on their fans. And it's, that.
Oh, even see that in it.
I will tell you, there is an update.
Oh. Okay.
The next day, January 26, 2015, 5:45 p.m., it has been revealed that this Twitter user was not, in fact, stealing the chicken nuggets. I don't care about signing up for a subscription.
Oh, man. So we can't even get nice. We can't even get the update. What?
I'm going to keep hitting no
thanks. That is like a classic tease. Like, we'll just drop it in the next episode. You know what I mean?
Well, he told News 96.5 that he'd actually been asked to pick up some extra chicken nuggets from another store.
Wow.
He snapped the photo.
Piece of shit that guy is.
He snapped the photo and tweeted about the supposed theft. So he was clout chasing.
Wow.
He was,
big time. Clickbait.
That's amazing.
Clickbait.
By, signing up to the Mashable newsletter.
I mean, that makes him way worse than a nugget thief. Like coming at us with his bullshit. Like he's, robbing the rich to feed the poor nuggets, and then it's all bullshit.
And then it turns out he was actually purchasing.
He wasn't even. He was like, his boss said, go pick up some nuggets from this other store. We're almost out. So he's like, okay, man, jumps in his car, drives over there, says, yo, we need some nuggets. My boss probably called your boss or some shit. Goes like, yeah, man, go grab them in the freezer. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to pretend like I stole this shit. Boom, the rest is free. I don't know,
Just
man.
be your fucking self.
Just be your fucking self. Which is a dude that was going to pick up some nuggets from another store in order for my store to have nuggets.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
YOLO.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
It's pretty funny, though.
It's pretty good.
Motta, what do you got for us?
All right, I'm going to do mine in my big guy voice. Mine comes directly from WFAL.com. And the headline reads, Florida man drives stolen truck to Space Force Base to warn of battle between aliens and dragons. This is dated July 25th. The author of this fantastic, very short, brief article is Dylan Abad, and it reads as follows. And I have to tell y'all, because I'm an alien dude, this one is near and dear to my heart because, the guy's out there truthing.
Yeah.
So a Florida man is accused of driving a stolen vehicle to a Space Force base in Brevard County, if that's how you pronounce it, in what he called, quote, a mission from the President of the United States, end quote, according to reports. WESH2 News reported Corey Johnson, 29, stole a truck from Riviera Beach and drove to Patrick Space Force near the Kennedy Space Center. When Johnson tried to get on base, he claimed the president told him in his mind that he needed to take the vehicle and warn government officials that there were U.S. aliens fighting Chinese dragons.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off for just 1 second. I thought you were about to say Patrick Star.
No.
So that's where my brain's been going. Like I'm seeing all these different fucking things. Not that I'm on crack, but
Or are you? All right, so listen. He was arrested and charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle, but he was not arrested, oddly enough, for making a false report to the police. Dun, dun, dun. Dun,
all
Go
true.
fucking figure that one out.
All true. I mean, we know aliens are real. I mean, I feel like we got confirmation, right? Like, we know.
Look, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if y'all, like I did, you guys know TZ from Tapes from the Dark Side?
TZ Borden?
Yeah. So he's my guy, and we did a little collab the other night, and it was on his season 5, which is great. And so it was kind of like an after show type deal. And like when we were done talking about that, we just started kind of bullshitting, and he was recording it all. So I like my whole alien theory slipped out like to the public, and I'm a big alien guy, man. I got long thoughts on that shit, in terms of like how we as humans got here. I'm not so much buying. I'm definitely not buying the Bible shit. I'm definitely not buying the evolution shit, man. Because it's just gaping holes, giant gaping holes, and all that stuff. And to me, the most likely thing is that we're a sociological experiment of the aliens, and they found a habitable planet for us. And bada bing, bada boom.
They're coming back.
I mean, they're watching us. Like, you have to, dude, they are way, way ahead of us in terms of intelligence and technology. Like, we're talking, I mean, theoretically, they could be millions and millions of years old in terms of species. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But if they're able to travel to our planet, they certainly have the technology in order to be. I mean, if we're working on cloning like 15, 20 years ago, just think what they can do with like DNA sequencing, I mean, like, I'm just saying it's as plausible as anything else out there.
I just thought it was really kind of them to send that that balloon.
The Chinese. Yeah, see, that's what I mean, I don't think that the three things that they shot down after were balloons. We don't know what they were, but it was very strange. I don't think they were balloons. So
it was one, okay, weird. Two, well, that's kind of strange.
Right.
Three, you're like, okay.
We're under attack. Under attack. Exactly.
Something's happening.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But I feel like we're so desensitized now. It's just like, oh, aliens, it's fine, cool.
Yeah,
well, they've already figured out aliens actually are real.
So. When that actually when that happens, our fucking minds will explode. Because I mean, it'll change everything. It'll change it'll change everything that we think. Like I'm assuming that organized religion will go away. Be like, oh well, But I mean, theoretically,
you'll still have the people.
Yeah,
there will be some people that will probably make it sound like to fit their narrative of their Bible. Well, the Bible actually did.
Like God was an alien. Well, that's all we meant. We just meant that God was an alien.
That's what we meant.
They'll just pivot. Okay. They'll just pivot. Yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, people need faith, I guess, So, I mean, that's cool.
And I mean, that's fine. I mean, they'll bring back the whole Heaven's Gate thing, and it'll be.
I mean, there's the nexus right there. Heaven's Gate. We're gonna drink the Kool-Aid and go with the heavens.
Flavor-Aid.
Aliens.
Flavor-Aid.
Right. All right, Amanda, what do you got?
I was pulling it up right now. Okay, so this is from thesmokinggun.com.
Okay.
And it was posted on June 2nd of 2022. I swear I'm not blind. This thing's just weird. It doesn't say who wrote it. I was trying to find that. Okay, I'm just gonna read the story. So,
are you fighting with your?
I'm fighting with on my life over here with this charger.
Okay, I thought it was your microphone.
No.
I mean, it looks not quite long enough. That seems to be the problem.
It was my computer one, and my phone was kind of dying, so I was plugged my phone in while we were talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's the safe mode.
I was trying to be responsible phone owner.
I mean, it was good. It's good to be connected,
I had 41% and didn't need to still be on there. All right, so mine kind of piggybacks off of Courtney's, which is amazing. I love it when we do this.
Great minds think alike.
Is it about food?
Yeah, of course it is. Some of the best food. A burglar broke into a Pennsylvania residence and only stole a bag of pierogies, according to the police.
That's it? Pierogies?
I mean, they are delicious.
They are delicious. But they didn't go after I don't know, Burger King chicken nuggets.
Nope.
I mean, they obviously have better taste because chicken nuggets from Burger King are whack.
I like pierogies, even if they are the frozen kind in the freezer. They're bomb.
Great.
I mean,
get that little freezer burn action going.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, Delicious.
And then I'm lazy about trying to like cook them the way they tell you to cook them because they always stick on the bottom of the pan, and I get pissed. So I just like throw them in the air fryer, and I'm like,
I mean, air fryer is the greatest invention of the 21st century.
That's what everybody's saying, but I would probably just put them in the microwave.
Yeah, I got rid of my microwaves. That's how, I have 2 air fryers, and I said, you know what, microwave, go fuck yourself because you cause cancer, and I got rid of it.
I hardly ever use the
my
microwave.
16-year-old is like, she bitches at me because she can't pop popcorn. So I ordered like a popcorn popper. You know, I'm like, I got one. You know, I'm like, yo, man, like now you're good. I'm like, we have air fryers, and you know, and I'm gonna tell you all something like that is super super secret. I actually invented it, the air fryer. Like, I want to say I was graduating college, and me and my buddy were down in Arizona. Like, we just took a trip. We were both broke, starving college students. It was like the end of our trip. We had spent like our last dime on the cab to get back from whatever bar we were at that night. And we were staying at this shitty hotel. So we went in to the 7-Eleven that was across the street, and we spent like literally our last $2 to buy like frozen burritos. We get back to our shithole hotel. They don't have a microwave. I'm like, oh my God, like we're starving to death. And I'm like, dude, so I'm like, oh my God, what can I do? You know, I go down to the front desk. Like, no, we don't have a microwave, man. This is the kind of spot where we're going to have a microwave. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And he's like, no, dude, it's not. Go away, go to your room. So I'm like sitting there and I figure it out. So I took the hair dryer, like put that motherfucker on like super high hot blast and cooked the fucking burrito. This is 25 years ago. That's exactly what an air fryer is. It's literally a hair dryer that is just like, I'm telling you, man, like if I would have like had the foresight at that time to say, okay, I'm going to put a hair dryer and have it like in a box where the air is trapped in there, just throwing shit around. It's the air fryer.
Did you seriously just admit that you Uncle Jesse'd?
Yeah, it was way before Full House, though. So
gas station burrito.
Yes.
And you have invented the air fryer. I got to ask you a question. How long did it take to?
All right, so that's
the next morning he ate it.
That was like, so at that point in time, the the whole invention was not perfected. So it took about 25 minutes to cook the burrito with the hair dryer.
I don't think that's so bad.
A lot of flipping, but it, at the end of the day, it was moderately warm and it was edible,
frozen in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I didn't break my teeth when I bit into it. So
as long as you didn't break your teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's a true story.
That sounds like a delicious delicacy from a gas station.
You're like 19. It wasn't bad.
Very, very.
It's kind
that
of
was very inventive of you. With
it could have been worse.
You know what? I'm a
hair
thinker.
dryer.
I'm a thinker.
Hair dryer, gas station food. Hashtag hair dryer.
Exactly. Delicious. Good living. That's clean living right there.
Also, I'm going to start using Uncle Jesse as a
Uncle Jesse did.
Yeah, Uncle Jesse did.
I love Uncle Jesse.
Oh, man.
Okay, so the suspect, cops say last month, burglarized the apartment of Tyler White, who lives in Trout Run, a village 15 miles from Williamsport. The thief made off with a 5-pound bag of Mrs. T's brand pierogies, according to the Pennsylvania State Police report. Investigators valued the pierogies at $10.
Hey, misdemeanor.
I'm like, why are the cops wasting their time with this? What's going on right now?
They were hungry.
It was probably their teenage son who was really high.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I gotta get some fucking pierogies. Oh my God, I'm fucking dying for a pierogi.
You know it was.
I mean, come on. That was a slow news day, too. I'll tell you that.
Slow news day. We ain't even done this. Let's keep going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, pardon me. I'm excited now.
In addition to stealing the frozen pierogies,
the
burglar caused damage to drywall in the home's kitchen.
Oh, man.
Like, how?
I mean, like, the odd thing is, so here's the thing, like, in Illinois, at least, like, in order for them to be able to get you on burglary, it's got to be breaking and entering. It used to be that it had to be at night.
Oh,
like,
really?
I was like, wait, what? You can just break into fucking people's house like during the day and you're good to go.
We're good.
I think they got rid of that shit. But
I think in Texas, it's like it's okay to break into somebody's house as long as you let them know beforehand,
yeah, I think
or some stupid law like that.
That is
the statute is that you have to be breaking in with the intent to commit a felony. So, in order for them to get you on burglary, that might be wrong. That might be something else. There's another one like when you break into people's house with the intent to commit a felony. Yeah, I think that's like a class 1, class X type thing in Illinois. I forget what it's called. Been out of the law game for a minute, you know, guys. It's like forgetting shit.
Me too. Yeah.
Slipping.
No knowledge. So
I know nothing.
it just says the investigation's ongoing, but there's no updates. So
I mean,
I'm not
sure
surprised.
The death penalty's still in action down in Florida, right? You motherfuckers are like frying people left and right down there. I'm sure they executed that guy for that. It sounds like.
I don't know. You only get a $30 ticket if you throw an alligator on a roof.
You know what? Yeah, like they probably would execute you if you, did a pierogi robbery. But,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, because
not if you throw an alligator through a Wendy's.
That's
window.
what I'm saying. Because that's really kind of like a public service. You're taking out of the public way. You're helping the people. You know. Yeah. I mean, you're creating a little bit of an issue in the Wendy's.
Yeah.
Gonna have some dead employees, but it's for the greater good of the public, right? You know what I mean? It's like we did it for the people. There were children walking around outside. I had no choice but to throw the gator through the window of the Wendy's drive-thru. I saved 5 kids. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
And seven people inside.
I'm going to put it on my socials right now. We'll see what the people say. Let's see what the people say. 5 children die by alligator, or I throw it into the drive-thru window and it kills maybe 10 adults. But, they've lived a full life-ish,
Well, how old are these adults?
I'm saying like 30s, and they're all working at Wendy's. Prime. So, I mean, but yeah, but the kids, the children, it was for the kids.
What's that song?
For the kids.
For the children. Okay, I have one more paragraph. Founded in 1952, the Pennsylvania-based Mrs. T's Pierogies describes itself as the largest provider of pierogies in the country, offering many new flavor combinations as well as the original classics.
Wow, it turned into a pierogies ad. That's what this article did. Yeah. It's amazing.
The pierogies are equally amazing: boiled, baked, sautéed, grilled, air-fried, or tossed in a slow cooker.
What's your preferred pierogi cooking method?
Well,
preferred. Not like the air fryer's lazy. You're just dropping shit in there, closing the drawer.
That's my preferred is doing it correctly. How they you steam them or whatever, in the pan with the water and with the lid. They're better that way. I'm just lazy.
They are. Right. I mean, that's the same thing.
How do you eat your pierogies?
Edible. That's how I eat.
Blow dried.
Even blow dried, yes. I'll take a blow dried pierogi. Thank you.
Hello, you're welcome. I do. I just assume cook them up in a half pound of butter. Just imagine how delicious that would be.
Oh, that would be really good.
I don't know why, but I kind of want one in sour cream.
Oof, yeah.
Hot Cheetos and sour cream.
Oh, girl. So you're making straight pierogies?
Yeah, like street tacos.
Like street corn.
Oh, elotes.
Yeah.
Elotes.
But it's pierogies.
Yeah, elotes are delicious.
You know what? We're going to call them pilotes.
Paroques.
That's funny.
All right, what's your second one for us?
Well, we have a very food-centric episode tonight, which is unique hungry. Because they all are. This one comes from clickorlando.com. So both of mine tonight were Florida. A RIP current statement in effect for coastal Volusia region. See the complete list. Okay. This one says, men use spaghetti sauce to try to start fire after a burglary, deputies say. That's a loaded...
Is it like acidy?
So... The deputies find sauce burning on victim's stove with washcloth on burner. This one's by Adrian Cutaway. She's a web editor. And then there's also Lauren Korn, but it's spelled like with a K, but it's still kind of funny because I like Korn. That's a good band. But she's a reporter. And it was published March 14th of 2018 at It's Corn, Big Lump in the House. 2018 at 4:15 p.m. So, DeLand, I don't know, Florida. 2 men are accused of breaking into the home of a man they both dated, stealing several items, then leaving spaghetti sauce boiling on the stove with a washcloth placed near the burner. In an
Bastards.
Bastards. In an attempt to start a fire, according to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office. More on clickorlando.com. No. So the victim called 911 about 7 a.m. Tuesday because the security cameras of his home on Evergreen Terrace in DeLand detected motion. And he believed that someone was breaking in because a towel had been placed over one of the cameras, the report said. An ad for hair removal laser.
I wish, man.
I have one, but we're going to be selling it. We'll talk about that later. So, deputies went to the residence and saw a red Lincoln Navigator attempting to leave the area. A stop was conducted, and the driver, 28-year-old John Silva, and passenger Derek Irving told the deputy that they had just picked up some clothes from the victim's home. According to the affidavit, the victim told News 6 that Irving was wearing a bull costume. Irving was wearing a bull costume.
A bull.
Like a cow,
like with
but
2
bigger.
horns?
Yeah.
That's
Or
bull.
like Michael Jordan.
The bull.
No.
You mean he's the goat, though. Get it right.
He was in the Bulls.
He was
Right?
on the Bulls.
Well,
I don't know
this-
if he was in the
this
Bulls.
person-
but he was on
Okay,
the
I'm not a
Bulls.
sports person.
You like sports ball? Let's watch
I
some
love sports ball.
Let's watch some sports ball.
I do have a husband and 2 sons, so I know some now.
Do they enjoy sports ball?
They
I
do.
love sports ball.
They're like,
do.
Mom, come watch sports ball with us.
You have no
You're
idea
like,
how many
"Pass,
games I have to go to.
My
pass."
favorite part of sports ball is whenever I kick the baseball through the basket. So the
As
W-
Courtney, she's had to go to football practices for my kids.
oh, it was so sweet. So the victim told News 6 that Irving was, again, wearing a bull costume. So technically, to answer one of your questions, he was inside of a bull. The deputy said that he could see a marijuana grinder in the center console and a vacuum window AC unit, flat screen television, and heater in the back seat. An empty jar of ragu spaghetti sauce was also on the passenger seat, the report said. CDs, breaking news, TV mistakes, tattoo spell check, world's craziest beach.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Deputies said both men initially denied burglarizing the victim's home, instead saying that Irving told Silva he lived at home and needed a ride there to retrieve some clothes and other items. The home reeked of smoke when deputies entered it, according to the report. A pot of spaghetti sauce was found burning on the stove with a white washcloth placed near the burner that had just begun to catch fire, according to the affidavit. Quote, he was trying to make it look like I left the stove on, but who gets up at 2 a.m. and fixes spaghetti?
Hey,
And
hey.
you know what? It
A
happens.
dude who's fucking hungry? I imagine there's millions of people all over the earth that get up at 2 a.m. and cook some spaghetti sauce, man. You know?
I love that he literally said sketty.
I mean, the fact
How
that he
else do you
calls
say
it sketty says all you need to know. Like he's definitely cooking sketty at like 2 a.m. Guy, he's got like a pet name for it. It's like his shit. He loves sketty.
Like, it's kind of like sketty spaghetti.
Or paschetti, right? I mean,
Paschetti.
Paschetti.
isn't that what we all called paschetti? Like spaghetti when we were growing up? I want some paschetti.
Paschetti.
My daughter used to call it sketty.
Yeah, I mean,
She
good.
grew out of that. But anyways, the victim said, the deputy extinguished the flames, then continued searching the home. Evidence at the scene revealed that Silva and Irving broke into the home, covered the security cameras, stole the items, and put the spaghetti sauce, this time it was spelled spaghetti, on the stove in an attempt to start a fire so the evidence would be destroyed, according to the authorities. Why the fuck does this keep popping up? And it's for a laser hair remover, but that eye patch thing looks like a potato. So weird.
I mean, clearly you Googled
Potato skin
laser hair removal, so
I don't know.
you're getting bombarded by the algorithm.
I know, but I love reading these ads. They're so funny. So Silva and Irving told deputies that they also potato. Like, really? Why is there a potato there? Silva and Irving told deputies that they both had romantic or sexual encounters with the victim in the past. Quote, I'm almost done. I've got like 2 paragraphs left.
You're good.
Quote, it started out as a relationship that lasted about a week. The victim said, I let him use my car for 4 months. Maybe he's angry about that. Or maybe he's angry because I gave him $150 to fix his teeth. What?
That was
Like,
rude.
this is like getting crazy. Both men were charged with, okay, I thought that said unmarried burglary, but it actually says unarmed burglary.
Unmarried burglary.
Grand theft. Wow, Courtney. Okay, let's start over. Both men were charged with unarmed burglary, grand theft, and arson. Silva is being held on $25,500 bond, and Irving is being held without bond because officials say he violated his probation.
Ooh.
Yeah,
In
so
trouble.
Lauren Korn is a native Texan who joined the news. Who gives a shit? Okay. All right, so that's my story.
I mean,
I liked it.
I found it to be heartwarming, kind of.
I did too. I like how so far we've talked about a lot of food, and then like the author of mine had corn in her name.
The irony. It goes right back to the elotes. So
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like the pierogi
full
elotes.
circle. We've gone
full
full circle. All right. My second story comes from the Miami New Times, and it looks like it was published October 17th of 2022 at 4:32 p.m. Got it right past the deadline, but they still printed it, obviously.
Yeah.
So this tale it sounds funny, but it's actually kind of fucking horrifying. But I'm gonna go ahead and read it anyway.
Okay.
And it's written by a gentleman named Theo Carantasales. Okay.
Oh wow.
So, on October 17th, 2022, a naked, machete-wielding man with painted nails and a cowboy hat slashed a bicyclist and fractured her skull near Miami Springs, according to Miami-Dade police. Roberto Hercules, yes, that is his last name, age 45, was arrested on attempted murder on October 14th, 3 days after the attack, in the 2100 block of West 10 Court.
Okay.
Police found him sleeping nude next to 2 cowboy hats in a tent, hiding within the trees, a Miami-Dade police reports. You guys have any comments thus far?
I am still on Roberto Hercules.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, can you envision him in his hat, on his bicycle, fully nude?
Hercules.
Exactly. I am Hercules, full, like, just buck naked, except for the hat. So, and of course the bike. The female victim was riding her bicycle at 6:30 a.m. on October 11th along South River Drive in Medley when Hercules asked her whether she had a crack pipe, the report states. When the victim said that, "No, sir, I do not have a crack pipe," the defendant pulled out a machete and began to attack. After striking her multiple times with the machete, Hercules fled on foot, according to the report. Miami Springs police posted a community alert on Instagram. Power of social media. The victim was transported to a hospital where she went to the ICU unit. When she went to ICU, where she was treated for a fractured skull, bleeding in the brain, a broken left arm, and a large laceration on the left hand. The bloody crime scene drew police from 5 jurisdictions, including Medley, Miami Springs, Miami-Dade, and Florida East Coast Railway. Train cars hauling liquid nitrogen gas and electronics to a nearby Amazon distribution center were halted so authorities could search the tracks.
I just want my job to know, if you're listening for any reason, that I had nothing to do with that. Nothing.
Is your real name Roberto Hercules? Okay.
No, I just work at an Amazon.
Yeah, it wasn't me. So it says that the knife allegedly used by Hercules was found in the vicinity, a Miami Springs police report states. There was information that the victim came from the homeless camp along the FEC Railroad, according to the report. Hercules, a native of El Salvador, has also been charged with armed robbery, and aggravated battery with great bodily harm. According to the county court records, he is being held without bond at the county's correctional center, where he is also on an immigration hold. The tracks that divide Medley and Miami Springs connect are, albeit illegal, cut through a path for students and commuters who use the Metro Trail station at 2005 West Okeechobee. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, this reporter has gone far afoot. He's giving us kind of a narrative of the entire area. This guy's stretching his legs.
It's like
this
my
guy's
Pierogi story.
He's trying to get off like the Metro crime beat, and he just wants people to know that, look, I'm a legitimate writer, So we're gonna go through this. We're gonna keep plugging along. So the locals have found rotting fruit, pennies, and chicken and goat parts, presumably offered as ritual Santeria sacrifices, scattered about the tracks. I mean, this is turning an entirely different story. It's amazing. The area.
I think it's funny that this is still talking about food.
I mean, like at the end of the day, we're talking about goat parts, and chicken.
Chicken.
The area sits across from Triangle Park, a popular Miami Springs picnic area where people park to watch alligators or use the Ludlam Drive fitness trail. So, New Times reported last year that he slipped completely off the rails, this guy. He reported last year that a homeless encampment at the same site was set ablaze after a standoff with authorities. Last Friday, burgeoning camps underneath the railroad bridge were abruptly cleared out. And fini. That's the end of the story. So it's a cautionary tale, ladies. That, okay, drugs are bad. Okay. Dude's clearly a crackhead, needed
Drugs
a crack pipe.
Bad.
I'm just, wow. Okay, so you said this was in 2022.
Yep. October 17, 2020. It sounds like it happened a few days earlier, but the report was written on the 17th.
It took him 3 days to write that long article.
Yeah, it took 3 days to write that article, and it took the police to crack this caper. It must have been tough to find a naked dude with a cowboy hat and a machete walking around. I mean,
okay,
it is Florida. This again is Florida, so that's probably not that uncommon, maybe.
We need to put a Google alert on this because I want to know if Hercules ever got that PPE loan and purchased his business and started his family.
Yeah, I hope so. Like, that would be a fulfilling ending. But he won't be able to do it till he's out of prison. I imagine he's doing a pretty good bid on that little thing there.
Well, all he's got to do is start with the bicycle.
Exactly.
We'll always have the bicycle in there.
And the machete. And the crack pipe.
And
don't forget about the crack pipe. I think the moral of the story is if you want to avoid a typical horrible situation like that, just carry a crack pipe just in case.
Just in case somebody asks you for one.
Who needs one? Exactly.
You always have to be prepared. Spoon,
you're not used to.
In some cases, you need a broken light bulb. An apple.
Apples are always handy. Bananas are great. Plus, they have the whole peel thing.
You gotta be inventive sometimes, but you know
what?
Like
sometimes
don't do drugs.
You might.
Yeah,
you might need baking soda at some point too.
It's good shit. So there's mine.
I also don't know how I know any of this shit. Don't mind me.
Years of life experience.
It's life. I mean, who doesn't know it by this point?
I thought you were about to say, who doesn't do it at this point? I was like, not me.
Not I.
Oh God! Just threw my phone at me. Okay. This is coming from WVLT TV, Channel 8. So it is. This is written by Cameron Morgan Rumsey.
Want a macaroon.
Cameron. Okay, is it Cameron because it's spelled CAMRUINN?
Cameron?
Probably Cameron.
We'll just go with macaroon.
Okay.
Because that's what's stuck in my head.
Rumsey. Sorry, not Ramsey. Rumsey.
Ooh, that sounds like rum macaroon ice cream. Dude, I'm hungry.
I cannot pronounce their name. I am so sorry. So this was published in September 12th of 2022.
Okay.
And it is in Knoxville, Tennessee. So a Knoxville man was arrested Saturday for stealing televisions from the Chapman Highway Walmart and then selling them in the parking lot of the store.
Hey, He was ready. He's like, I'm ready for it.
I've known people that have
I'm
done
opening
this.
a pop-up store right here in your parking lot. What now?
So, an incident report obtained by the news station. Officers responded to the Walmart around 9 p.m., where they found Donald Kirkland in possession of shoplifted property. The report said Kirkland ran from the responding officers, but they were able to take him into custody. So I guess he wasn't very fast.
I mean, he was carrying all the shit.
That's what I was saying. Like, he had all the TVs under his arm.
He had all the shit, man.
He's not letting go of
anything.
Can you imagine like being
all
caught
the
at your
shit.
kiosk selling the stolen TVs and running away?
Be tough. It's a tough getaway, you know? Get a fucking car, dude. Bring a car next time.
Yeah. Also, come drop me off.
Yeah,
a TV.
exactly. We all want new TVs.
Help us out.
And you get a TV. And you get a TV. Okay.
And you get a TV.
Yeah, the Oprah.
I want 4K. I don't want this one.
Get TVs. So afterwards, Kirkland told officers that he had stolen 3 TVs, a karaoke machine, and camping equipment.
Why? Camping equipment.
1 karaoke machine. I guess this is what he could carry.
Okay, so you stole 3 TVs,
3 TVs, one karaoke
machine, and camping equipment.
And this is what he was selling in the Walmart parking lot. The Walmart's manager also told officers that he saw Kirkland loading one of the TVs into a cart in the store. So I guess he loaded everything in the cart and just rolled on out.
He gone.
Wow.
He is.
He's just gonna go right now. I'm just gonna put some stickers on it like I bought it.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
I heard if you
steal
shake
that shit.
violently, you can go through the little detectors and they won't go off.
Oh, sweet.
So you know how they usually like have.
Is that like a shoplifting life hack right
I
there?
saw it on TikTok. I don't know if it really works.
It's amazing.
You know how they usually have those like really sweet, cute, adorable little elderly people that will check your, like receipts or welcome
They're
you?
always so grumpy.
Costco, yeah.
Where the fuck are they?
I'm
They could've
sorry.
stopped that
Walmart's
thief.
not going to pay me enough to chase somebody. No. I'm going to be like, that person stole something. And that's where it's going. There's somebody else whose job it is can chase them. I'm a greeter, not a chaser. I don't get paid for that.
Not my job description. Sorry.
Buddy.
Pay me to chase shit. Oh, no, I'm fucking doing it. Go fuck
They should have
yourself.
checked those
I quit.
receipts.
Blow it out your ass, Sonny.
No, only have one sentence. Kirkland was charged with the theft of merchandise.
Yeah, he
And that's
was.
the end.
I mean,
yeah, he was.
That sounded like some felony level shit, man. Like in
Yeah,
Illinois,
3
it's like
TVs. That's well over $1,000.
easy.
So that's
Like
definitely
here,
gonna be a felony.
the threshold is $300. If you're over 300, you're in felony world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always thought like grand theft was, of course, a felony, but like I always thought the reason why they called it grand theft, and forgive me if I'm sounding ignorant and dumb.
It's because you thought it was a car?
No, I always thought that grand theft meant like anything over $1,000. Am I right?
You're wrong.
Well, then what did I think that?
I mean, at least you're wrong in this state. Like in this state, it's not a grand. I mean, yeah, grand theft in this state does actually relate to vehicles. Like I know there's the game Grand Theft Auto, but it actually like the charge related to
I
automobiles.
thought it was, and I thought I was going to sound really stupid.
No, you were dead on actually.
Is it the same in Texas, I wonder?
I mean, I don't know. It's like a world unto itself, Texas.
Yeah,
Tell us about it. We're here
Different thing.
being held
Whole
hostage.
different thing. I don't know what y'all are doing down there.
I don't know either.
I don't
You know
either,
what?
like- Y'all, the rest of y'all got COVID. We got, Ted Cruz.
I'm gonna tell you right now that Eric, Whitney, and Melissa brought me to a fucking Buc-ee's for the first
Oh
time.
my god, but Buc-ee's is amazing.
I was like, I was doing like TikToks in there because I was so fucking like blown away. I'd never like laid eyes on anything like a Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
I mean,
You went
it's
to the
literally
bathroom,
beside
right?
the Costco. Oh, of course, it was immaculate.
Yeah.
eat off
Yep.
the toilets in
Yep.
there. I mean,
Sure can.
if you were so inclined, I wasn't, of course, but I'm just
I'll
saying.
drink a big
if you
water
really
just so I
wanted
can
to-
stop at the Buc-ee's so I go to the bathroom.
I am telling you, like, yeah, they have immaculate bathrooms and they have like just absolutely fire brisket.
They do.
Like their brisket
The
is
brisket
like literally
sandwich.
delicious.
Yep.
Oh man, I
I
just bought a pound of the shit and was like housing it in the car, so it was great.
So good.
I have a confession.
What?
Yeah.
I've never
I
really
gotta go.
Fuck.
You live here. What are you
I
doing?
know.
Hello.
I know.
That should have been your headline. That should have been your Florida man story.
Okay.
You live in Texas. Have you ever
Okay,
been to a
tonight
fucking-
my headline is
Yeah.
Florida man is not
Yeah.
actually a Florida man. It's
Texas
Courtney
woman.
in Texas, and she's never been to Buc-ee's.
Okay,
Texas
next time
woman
you come my
shocks
way,
the
we're gonna
world.
go.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean it's like a full half day you could spend in Buc-ee's, like easy.
There's a chance I've been to a Buc-ee's and just didn't remember, but I mean,
Yeah, you
Courtney,
remember
no.
Buc-ee's.
There is zero chance of that happening. The place is the biggest. It's like literally like a fucking Costco-sized gas station.
yeah.
Like they have like 100+ pumps. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Okay, well,
It was
I'm
crazy.
feeling very embarrassed and like I might have lost like negative 15 more pounds.
You have to go to the bathroom in Buc-ee's. Courtney.
So I have to go shit in a
It'll
Buc-ee's?
change
Like,
your life.
one or
I mean,
two,
only
doesn't
if you
matter.
wanna change-
Okay.
Only if you want to change your life. If
okay,
you
so
don't,
does Buc-ee's have like its own like poopery spray and all that? Like, do they
Probably.
have a bidet?
Of
Like,
course.
do I get
Of
to
course
like?
they have bidets.
Is the fountain made of like quartz crystal
It's
filtration
made brisket
system?
and barbecue sauce, Courtney.
Brisket and barbecue sauce.
They have like dispensers when you're actually in the shitter stall that like actually a little tray with the brisket comes out.
Really?
All the toilet seats are made of solid 24 karat gold.
Wow.
Okay, like the warming aspect of the bidet water spraying on you is like next level shit.
That sounded That sounded like so many different double entendres there. But
That's what I'm talking about.
Did you
Like, if
have
you
a
wanna-
public
and-
toilet with a bidet?
I mean, did I just invent something
gross.
amazing? Oh, all right. I'm bringing that shit on Shark Tank right now.
yeah, and
Please
you know
do.
your hairdryer food thing. Your hair- what was
Yeah,
the
no, they already
hairdryer?
stole that shit. They call it the air fryer now.
But instead of the air fryer, you call it the hair dryer.
Well,
And-
yeah, you see what they did, right? They're saying, okay, we're going to drop the H from the hair, and we're going to change the D to an F, so it's fryer.
Yeah.
Instead of hair dryer, it's air fryer. They literally stole my shit. There's one man on the planet that can actually fucking verify that story is 100% true.
I believe you.
100% true.
I believe you because, like, I, for whatever
Thanks,
reason, feel
Like,
like
what-
that you would be that inventive.
Yeah, like, I mean, who the fuck would make up a story like that anyway, you know?
Why would you want to?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. There's no point in making it up unless it's true. That's the only reason I would tell the story. I did invent one other thing that was also on Shark Tank, which was, you guys know how you lose shit in between your seat and your fucking like center console, your fucking phone drops down. Like that shit was driving me fucking crazy. Like,
Hey, they make
like my
this little
phone
thing
would
you
slip
put
down
in
there
there
all
now.
the time. I couldn't
pull it up.
I couldn't reach my hand down there. I'm like, what the fuck? I have to pull
You have to get out of
over.
the car, go to the back, go in from the back.
Because
Yeah.
I'm trying to text and drive here, man. You know, like what? So, like, this is, I'm serious. This is like fucking like 10, 12 years ago, like when cell phones were becoming pretty prominent. And I kept telling Alice, I'm like, I can't fucking stand this. Like, I'm inventing something that I can just lodge in there. It'll either be a net, like a pressurized net that you just stick in there. It'll catch all kinds of shit. French fries when you're fucking housing food, all the shit, like everything that goes down in that crack, the black hole down there. And then, like, and Allison's like, that's actually a fucking great idea. You'll probably sell like millions of those. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, let's do something. And of course, I didn't do shit with it. Like the next year, I see these two
Here it
fuckheads
comes.
on Shark Tank, exact product, and they got a fucking like a $5 million offer or some shit on Shark Tank. I'm like,
fuck.
Do you know what else went
man.
on? Do you know what else went on Shark Tank first?
What?
Like the Nest cameras, like on your door. They weren't not
Totally.
the Nest brand,
I remember watching that.
and they
Like,
all
I
got
was-
denied.
Yes.
Like they
And they
just
were all
turned
like-
away, and I'm like, what?
Wow. Yeah,
Well,
they whiffed
I
on
have
that
a
one.
really good invention idea, and I'm not going to tell y'all about it. But
Wait,
definitely.
hold on. Let me get my pen ready. Okay.
Go ahead.
I won't write it down.
So, hey, Bob Motta, tell everybody where they can find your podcast.
All right, y'all. So, you can find our pod anywhere you get your pods. So, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, all the spots, all everywhere. And if you like it, make sure you subscribe or follow or whatever you have to do on whatever podcatcher you're listening to. And and if you dig the show, we love to. The girls know, I'm on the socials. I'm messing around on there. I try to interact as much as possible with our listeners, and I always love to hear from people. So, if you dig it, I'll warn you, it's not good, clean fun like this was. It's like my shit's pretty deep and serious. So, definitely a different avenue. I love when I get to do this with my friends and kind of let my hair down and be like who I am in real life. So, I enjoy that kind of shit. So, but yeah, I'd love if you all listen. I think if you check it out, you'll probably like it.
We loved having you, and I want whoever's listening to go to all of the things and leave all of the stars, all of them, and leave a really nice review on Defense Diaries and anything that is Bob Motta. And we appreciate you joining us. And do you know our sign off?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't even know
No,
what
she's
my
asking
sign
me.
off.
Our sign off. Okay, so in the beginning of our public feed podcast, our sign off was "Don't be a dick and wear deodorant." But since we decided to get really,
Which is an amazing sign off.
yeah, it's great advice. But we did change our format up, and we've decided to take things way more serious and really get very in tune with being ethical.
Yes.
So that's obviously changed. We're a lot more victim centered. But we wanted to recycle that sign off on this bullshit. So, if y'all want to sign us off.
Can I use that exact line?
Don't be a dick and wear deodorant.
All right, so listen, y'all. This is a pretty simple rule. This is an absolutely crucial rule if you don't want to be a total asshole in life. Don't be a dick. Wear deodorant.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I really want spaghetti and
Don't leave a
rag by the fire and some chicken nugget raccoon.